Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulina Muhammedin ve aleyhi sahbihi ecmain. Dear viewers, this evening we will have a very important program with our esteemed guest, Aziz Isa Elkun. First of all, Aziz Bey, welcome to our program and our show.
Merhaba, selamun aleyküm ve aleyküm esselam. Çok mutlu oldum.
Alhamdulillah. We are also very pleased and delighted to see you. You are participating from London. Dear viewers, today we will have this program with the topic of Uyghur poetry, a vital testament of resistance and survival. We will discuss it and we will evaluate and concern it with a very important poet of East Turkestan, our dear Muslim Uyghur brothers. I want to present you a little bit about your brief biography.
Yes,
Would you
please.
mind?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Aziz Isa, he was born in Şiiri, living in London since 2001, both Uyghur and English language. In 2012, he published
And the current ongoing oppression and the genocide by the Chinese Communist Party since 2017. And now I'm going to share my presentation. I share the screen and I start to present. 1 second, I share the file. Uyghur poetry, vital testament to resistance and survival. Before I start the Uyghur poetry, I briefly explain, as Yavuz Selim Efendi already said, Uyghurs is one of the very vital member of the Turkic nation worldwide, and we cannot imagine the unity of Turkic world without and also huge contributions Uyghurs offered the civilization of the Turkic nations worldwide. As we know, the Uyghurs are one of the earliest settled nation among the Turkic people, which soon after the collapse of Uyghur state in 8th century, in 1867, established Kashgarya state in Kashgar, and even established a diplomatic relationship with the Ottoman Empire and British Empire, and became kind of buffer state more than 10 years. And because of the Uyghur homeland, the East Turkestan location in Central Asia, which is or surrounded by three greatest empire in the world at that time, which is British Empire, Chinese Manchu Empire, and also Russian Tsars Empire. So when the Russians started occupying all Turkestan or Central Asia, and they already made the threat to British India, which is nowadays Afghanistan, Kashmir, and India, which is ruled by the British. And right at that time, Uyghurs, and with the leadership of Yaqub Beg in Kashgarya, 1867 onwards, expelled all occupational forces from their territory, and they tried to get the recognition by the big powers. So it already established diplomatic relationship with Istanbul, with the Ottoman Empire, with the British Empire, and British also found it very useful to defend their own interest from the Russian further Russian encouragement in Central Asia. So British tried very hard to persuade Russia should recognize East Turkestan as a buffer state between empires. But at the end, Russia won't give up, and Russia started occupying northern part of East Turkestan. At the end, British also given up and encouraging encouraging the Chinese forces through Hong Kong, and so that's how the fell the independent state. And so in 1884, fully reoccupied by the Manchu Chinese power, and then renamed the East Turkestan as Xinjiang, which new territory or new occupied land. Despite the Manchu Empire was collapsed in 1911, but also where Uyghur didn't have say any of their willing, and it became again occupied by the Chinese nationalists, which is called Kuomintang. Now they are in Taiwan. And 1949 by the Chinese communists with the support of Stalin. So as we said earlier, the occupation was started 1759, but Uyghurs never given up their resistance
Struggle.
against occupational forces. So we can estimate that more than during the 300 years of occupation, but Uyghurs and other Turkic people in East Turkestan.
Dear İsa Bey, can I ask you a question, by the way, very shortly?
I should be on my screen. 1 second.
Yes, please.
Let me. I can see you. Okay.
Now I see something and I see your mouse. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
continue.
Not showing on my screen. Okay, let me see. Okay, I just restart the sharing screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Do it, please.
Can you?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, comes up now. Okay.
Now it's okay. Fixed.
Yeah, it is all right. Yeah. Okay.
Please go on.
So okay, I put it down. Okay, and that's great. Okay. Uyghur poetry. Uyghur poetry is rich and colorful. It reflects the magnificent natural landscapes where the Uyghurs have lived for the last 2 millennia at the
Right.
heart of the famous Silk Road. It also reflects the frequent political turmoil, oppression, and wars that the Uyghurs have suffered over the centuries. Rule under the ruthless empires or civil wars between local warlords have left their mark on Uyghur poetry, which typically focused on nature and love, war and peace, immigration and exile. Uyghur poetry is diverse and multifaceted because it mirrors the complexity of the history of the Uyghurs and their shifting politics. One of the earliest Uyghur poems, Epic of Oğuzname. Throughout the history, poetry has reflected human life in every aspect,
Right.
created to express human happiness and sadness. It has been transmitted from generation to generation, both orally and through written scripts. The earliest Uyghur poems, it's thought to have originated in the 2nd century BCE and was shared by the Uyghurs and other Turkic people. In the 10th century, uh, in the 10th century, in the 10th century, in this millennia, this epic was recorded in the Uyghur script alongside the accounts of heroic acts and battles, and the theme of love is prominent. As this extract shows, she was so beautiful that if she smiled, heaven also smiled. If she cried, heaven also cried. When Oghuz Khan saw her, his whole body started to tremble. He fell unconscious. He fell in love and married her. I am king of the Uyghurs. When I call, those who answer will be rewarded, and I will become their friend. Oğuzname is an epic dastan telling the legendary ruler of Oghuz Khan, which has its roots in the 2nd century before Christ. The first manuscript version of the epic was written in the Old Uyghur script in the 10th century and is preserved in the Bibliothèque Nationale of France, in France, National Library in Paris, and the Uyghur poetry in the Buddhist era. The written tradition of Uyghur poetry dates from the 9th century, when poems on religious and philosophical subjects were composed at the courts of the İdikut Uyghur Khanate, which nowadays Turpan region. Poetic fragments from the Manichaean and Buddhist era explore human spirituality, the world, and the afterlife and believe in reincarnation and the role of meditation as the means to reach nirvana. From the beginning of time, desire and vanity have existed together, intertwined, one enemy. A bitter, lawless heart is a poison snake. But if one can live in a world free of greed, in a discordant society unaffected by discord, standing firmly on the earth, one will reach the ambitious.
But shall I ask you a question
Mm.
by this point? Please forgive me to
Yes.
interrupt you, but in which language this poetry was written? Was it written in Karluk language or which
We
language?
can say the Karluk language because Karluk is a general term used divided the Turkic languages like Oghuz, Karluk, Kipchak. But Karluk, of course, is only nowadays.
I mean, these Buddhist poetry, Uyghur
Yeah,
poetry in Buddhist era,
yes,
was it
yes.
also written in Karluk language?
We cannot say Karluk language because as I'm explaining, this is only nowadays it is referred to Uyghur and Uzbek languages among the Turkic language family. But this
Right.
language was Uyghur, which alphabet was Uyghur, and this is we can say the old Uyghur or the old Turkic is very similar. The not huge differences, but this is old Uyghur. It's linguistically, as we refer about linguistic family, of course, this is old Uyghur branch of Karluk
Right.
family, but this is old Uyghur. We cannot directly say it's Karluk. This is
Okay.
later on comes up about generalizing dividing the old Turkic language in different branches in the family.
You are right. Please continue. Forgive
Yeah.
me.
And now we move to as I said about the Buddhism era, that the Uyghurs became master of translating and spreading Buddhism from the 8th, 9th century until the 14th century. Even during the Chinggis Khan's Mongol invasion, and somehow the Chinggis Khan gave a kind of a special status for the Idkut kingdom and also
Mhm.
collaborated with Chinggis Khan's rule. So the Idkut Uyghur state was survived until 16th century. And so Buddhism era during the Buddhism era, Uyghur poetry is flourished, and it recorded many historical events. There's a great collection in Dunhuang and many museums in the world, like Berlin, British Museum, so many collections there. And when we move the Uyghur poetry in the Islamic era,
Right.
when Uyghurs began to embrace Islam in the 10th century, the new religion brought groundbreaking changes. It's groundbreaking changes means transforming social and cultural life. The practice of writing poetry became more widespread thanks to the Islamic emphasis on literacy and learning. The poetry of this period is often dedicated didactic or philosophical themes. The
Right.
11th century scholar Mahmud Kashgari made the first written record of Uyghur folk poetry, which had been transmitting orally for centuries. Mahmud Kashgari is one of the greatest and the first Turkic scholar
Dictionary.
who wrote the Turkic dictionary. Uh,
Divan-ı Lugati Türk.
Divani Logati Türk. His Logat, Divani Logati Türk, provides an invaluable literary resource. Here's an here's Cortain teaching the importance of hospitality towards the guests, for which Uyghurs are well known. When a guest arrives, help him dismount, make him feel at home and at ease, mix barley and hay for his horse, and brush its coat to slickness. So
Right.
it's like early Islamic, like we have also great scholar as well, also statesman Yusuf Hajib. So as soon as Uyghurs embraced Islam with the leadership of Satok Bora Khan, the early stage of Karkhanid Khanate, so the all all scholarly articles or poetry or literature became much more kind of focused on kind of seeking knowledge and educating the mass throughout Central Asia, because Karkhanid Khanate has three capitals. One is Kashgar, second is Samarkand, and also they also like the Uzgen nowadays, it's close to Ush in Kyrgyzstan. So like became kind of united all Turkestan at that time. That was we are talking about before the Mongol invasion.
Right. And the Karahanids were the first Islamic state adopting and accepting Islam.
Yes,
Satuk
this
Burhan.
is first state, and this is Karkhanid under the ruler or emperor of Satok Bora. It's not only the accepting, it also became that became vital role spreading the Islam to another regions like Khotan in the south and Turpan in the east, which Turpan is capital of Idkut Uyghur
And
state.
also among Turkic tribes. Right.
Also among the all Turkic tribes is much faster the expanded the rule of the Khanate, and also unified about the alpha the alphabet they use, and also kind of it's less kind of focus on the Uyghur identity. This became much more common of Turkic go back to the general commonly shared Turkic heritage and the cultural identity. So many scholars argue this is Karkhanid is a kind of a Turkic Khanate,
Right.
but it's also that Khanate was established on the ruins of the Uyghur state, and so it's because that time, as we know, historians all agree, there's no exist Uzbekistan, no exist Kazakhstan, as you know. Imagine about from the 9th to 13th century before the Chinggis Khan Mongol invasion of Central Asia.
Right.
Now, Mahmud Kashgari is one of the greatest scholar, as we know, many Turkish leaders from the Republic of Turkey visited Mahmud Kashgari's and paid tribute to his great work.
Right. Recently, our Minister of Foreign Affairs, he was there, Hakan
Yeah.
Fidan. Yeah.
Yes, and also Davutoğlu and many previous the Turkish leaders visited. Unfortunately, you must aware there was a status of you can see on the screen status of Mahmud Kashgari, and now 2019 in November they demolished the status of Mahmud Kashgari, and now his tomb was closed down. I don't know.
Is it this status is destroyed now?
Destroyed, and I don't know any, even including Turkey, any Turkic state, no whatsoever didn't respond a word. That's the part is doing.
It's a shame.
Yeah, no response from any Turkic states. This is not only the Uyghurs share. This is a common heritage
Of humanity.
of the Turkic world of the humanity.
Right.
This was reported by the Radio Free Asia in 26th of November 2020.
Right.
And no one can visit this tomb, its mausoleum in Opal in Kashgar, and this is the reality, the part of the Chinese genocide. And now we move to Elshir Nawai. We can in the West, also we can say the Shakespeare of Central Asia or Turkestan or Turkic world, the Uyghur Chaghtay literature and the beginning of Sufi poetic tradition. So when we move further farther close to our time. In the 13th and 14th century, Uyghur poetry underwent a further change, embracing the Sufi poetic tradition which first flourished in the Arab Persian sphere before being adapted to the Turkic languages. This shift was cemented in the contribution of the great Central Asian or Turkic poet Elşir of Herat. He was born in 1441 and passed away 1501. He's
He was born in Afghanistan or something?
yes,
Not
born in Afghanistan. We can say I also we are saying nowadays the country's name as Afghanistan because the nowadays Afghanistan, the Herat, this was ruled for many centuries by the Babur.
Babur, right.
Babur. So it's like a Afghanistan's very new term somehow because more than half of the nowadays Afghanistan territory, which we call the Kuzey Turkestan, it all lives the Turkic people. Like nowadays, even we estimated more than 2 or 3 million Uzbeks lives in Afghanistan. At that time, it was very close connection between in the north. Nowadays Uzbekistan, in the east or northeast, the East Turkestan. So there's like as we all know, there's no borders, no any obstacles.
It wasn't, of course, it was not Afghanistan at that time, right?
So,
right.
yes, exactly. His extraordinary poetry and other literary work successfully established the Turkic Çağatay as a literary language, able to communicate profound emotion and beauty. Uyghurs recognize Nava'i as a central to their literary heritage, regarding poet as being of Uyghur descent. They continue to share and circulate his poetry, not only in the written form, but also singing it in Sufi gatherings and musical performance. So let me read one of his greatest poem, Ghazal, I translated in my book Uyghur Poems a couple of years ago.
Right.
I grieved after I saw your beauty for the first time, and wished to see your alluring eyes for a second time, ready to strike with a knife to see you for the third time. I will see on her face a beautiful mole on the fourth time we met. I martyr myself for love on the fifth look. I wish to meet you and see your beautiful eyes for a sixth time. No other beauty like you exists in the 7 continents. You are beautiful like a fairy, and I wish to fly over you 8 times. Keep goes 9 times, 10 times. This is like
How many times more? 100,000?
I think so far I reached up
But
to
thank you very much. One little interruption. You have translated this into English language.
Yes.
Good, very good translation. I'm also a translator for poems, but can I request something? If it's under your hand or in your memory, can you please read this in its original text? Is it possible? Just a couple of verses.
Oh yes, then I have to.
Do you have it with you?
I don't have in my hand. I will. 1 second. I will read you. 1 second. I have to.
If you can arrange it.
Yeah. Of course. Yes. I will. 1 second. I will. Yeah.
Because the best thing is to hear
Yes,
another language. Because this is not written by Shakespeare or something.
Yes, exactly. You are right. And I will. 1 second. Let me get
Couple of verses, if possible.
Yeah. Of course, possible. 1 second. Let me get it. And now okay. 1 second. Let me get the. I think okay. I'm getting there.
Coming.
Coming.
Okay.
Yeah,
Geliyor mu?
Geliyor. Bir dakika geliyor.
Diyoruz.
Okay. Poems of Navai. Okay. We are very lucky. I got it. Okay, Navai.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. I got.
Just couple of verses and we will continue. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Okay, I read in
Çağatay or Uygur?
Uygur.
Uygur. Tamam.
I read as bilingual Uyghur and English and Uyghur, right? I will
Okay.
start
Please.
again.
It will be a good taste.
Yeah. I grieved after I saw your beauty for the first time. Bir körüp hasrette kaldım ol peri ruhsarını. Kendi salurlar ay yüzüge halını. Beş körüp aldığında can bersem şehudi işkimen. Altı körsem deptileymen közleri mestanını. Yetti iqlimda yok imiş sen kebi nazuk beden. Makatlermen sen kebi hör yarını. Toks örgülsem beşingdin ot tenimde can kavap. 10 kolum birle besip salsam dilimnin rayını. 11 ay boldu navai yardın ayrılgılı. 12 ay örülse ger tapkusi pinhanını.
Aziz İsa Bey, çok teşekkürler. Thank you very much. Let me tell you something. This was written 600 years ago.
Yes, right.
6 centuries
Yeah,
ago. But let me tell you something.
right.
I have understood almost 70 or 80% of it.
Thank you. So,
I have understood with your beautiful recitation.
thank you, Yavuz Bey. Okay,
Okay, let's continue.
let's keep continuing now. I get back to my slide again. 1 second.
Right.
So get back to the Navai.
And-
Navai, yes. So when we did here's again. Now we move to this. I just briefly mentioned here. They are like, as you know, very common for the whole the Turkic people.
Right.
In the 13th century, Ahmet Yasavi as well. So Ahmet Yasavi's poetry or hikmet also there's a great collection of hikmet.
Hoca Ahmet Yesevi.
Ahmet Yasavi, right? So Hoca Ahmet Yasavi also one of
Piri
the
Türkistan.
yes, born in the Turkestan. So this is one of the greatest the spiritual leader at that time. And now we move to like from Navai's time, from 16th century until the 18th century, Uyghur poetry filled with the topic of or style of Sufism. Just Sufism means like we can say very simply, love for Allah, love for the Creator, passion
Right.
for life and Islam. A dedicated,
Kind of mysticism, huh?
yeah, kind of mystic, like a very common mystics in Konya, for example, like
Mevlana.
Rumi style. So now we move to the 18th century. Nazgum, who's Nazgum? Nazgum is an iconic heroine in recent Uyghur history. During the rebellion against the Manchu Empire in Kashgaria during the 1820s, along with thousands of other people, Nuzgum was forcibly moved to the Ili regions in the north of East Turkestan. There are Manchu military officials forced her to marry him. On the wedding day, she killed the official and escaped to the mountain. She survived for a month living in a cave until Manchu soldiers discovered her and killed her by setting fire to the reeds which surrounded her cave. Since the Nazgum story has become a popular legend and Nuzgum herself became a national symbol of resistance to foreign invaders. Her situated in the Uyghur region of eastern Kazakhstan nowadays. The call of Nuzgum from Muhammad Yasin Örkşi was in his spirit and his blood. The reeders sing a desert song. Horses neigh on the horizon. The heroic people who once lived by the sword now lie quiet beneath the earth. The floating moon becomes a beautiful girl, telling a story in the blue sky. Oh, the reed bed fiercely burns, and with it the hopes of a whole nation. We are listening to it silently, not only with our ears, but in our hearts. The sand encourages on the fertile land, but we are
Mhm.
the real sandstorms. Let us go to the desert. The delicate moon is telling a tale. Perhaps there will be a book of warriors containing mainly beautiful mice. It would not be strange to meet freedom's son, heroic Chintamur. Let us live in a free world, singing desert song all our lives.
Thank you very much.
This is the Call of Nuzgum, written by Nur Mehmet Yasin Örkşi, and he was sentenced in 2005, if I'm not wrong,
Right.
to life imprisonment, I think. And we don't know whereabouts him. He was very young. He was sentenced in Kashgar. He was writer, poet, and we don't know he's
What
still
happened to
alive.
him?
Yes, he's one of the great.
No news about him?
No news.
Most probably he's martyred. Allahu Akbar.
We don't know. We don't know anything. No news about him. So let's me the song of Yakub Bey. As I
Let's
said
please.
earlier.
We have almost 10-15 minutes more.
Okay.
Dear sir, yes, please.
So, okay, the Song of Yakub Bey. We was
Mhm.
continue to compose poems in order to spread news, record significant contemporary events and the tragedies of war, and to keep recent history alive in collect memory. Public transmission of such verses was essential. Again, they would often to set to music and sung in the bazaars. Here are some Santas from an anonymous ballad lamenting the death of 19th century ruler of Kashgaria, Yakub Bey. Yakub Bey is a hero. When he attacked the enemy, the heads of Chinese soldiers lay like pebbles on the ground. The Chinese arrived from Beijing, showing their fake smiles. Our lords and officers ran away, showing their tails behind. That's cruel. Now we move to the 19th century.
Right.
Abdülhalik Uygur is a well-known poet born on 9th of February 1901 into an intellectual and business family in the city of Turpan, Uyghuristan. His 20s, he traveled to the Soviet Union and Finland. He learned Russian and studied Russian literature, and he was executed by the Chinese warlords on 13th of March 1993.
He was very young,
Very
22
young.
years old.
Yeah, he was very young.
He's Shahid, martyred. Right.
Shahid. And Abdülhalik Uygur wrote he's one of his last poem he wrote. We must always be ready to face life or death. The fear of death makes us worthless. Ready to lift our heads and stand with a courageous gesture. If I die in battle, I hope one day my flowers will bloom.
Let me tell you something, dear Isa Aziz Bey. The flowers of him is you, is the new Muslim Uyghur generation all over the world. He was not killed for empty place. He was killed, and the flowers are still continue to bloom as you. Thank you.
And again, another great poet, Lutfullah Mutallib, he was also executed, became martyr at the age of 23. He was killed by the Chinese on 18th of September 1945 in Aksu. This is also his last poem he wrote with his blood on the prison wall. What he wrote: "This world has become a living hell for me. This bloodthirsty devil has turned the bloom of my youth into a withered leaf." And now another tragic poet, Malika Ziauddin. She was also brutally killed in beginning of Cultural Revolution, 1970, and
During Mao Zedong time?
was the time, and her poem became one of the most popular song among the Uyghurs in the 1970s, even until now. Everyone can sing the song Seni Eslayman. I will
Mhm.
read this in Uyghur. You may
Okay.
understand.
Please, please.
Bulbullar
Seni
sayrısa gülşenler ara. Caranlık nakşamda seni eslayman. İşkında köygen gülüngmen. Sevginip seni eslayman. Şamallar oynatsa sambul çarçını. Keldimu yarım dep seni sorayman. Yürükim riştisi sende bolgaçka. Her tanda amrıkım seni eslayman.
Seni hatırlayacağım. Türkçesi. In Türk. Right. Let's continue, please. Next
And
slide.
I will play. I will
Yes,
I
please.
will play the song which
Okay. Okay. We
performed
are
by
ready.
the Uyghur arts in the beginning of 1980s. Very
Right.
briefly.
Okay.
Yaylan
Okay.
X'te vatandaşlar.
I can't hear. Isabe, I think there is something wrong
Yes,
with
I
the
will
sound.
read the recently one of the again another poet which his novel the Dr.
I know
Professor
him
Elkun
personally, right?
in Ankara. So the perhaps widely known to the world.
Right.
His work translated in many languages. I just read one of his poem, very resolute about the occupation, colonization. What he wrote, one of his poem called the Tarim River. Just like the waters of the Tarim, we began from here, and we will end here in this land. We did not come from nowhere, and we will not go anywhere. If God created humanity, the God created us in this land. If humans descended from apes, then we descended from the local apes. Now Gülnisa Imin, and she's also one of the Uyghur poet. Now she was in prison because of her writing. She was imprisoned she was imprisoned in 2018 and sentenced for 70 years sentence. She wrote woman's prison. The woman's prison smiles from under the snow. The woman's prison emerges from prison. They don't want to shed their tears. They just want to lift their heads. They just want to gaze at the sunless sky, their troubles, their yearning, their nightmares, and sleepless nights. They want to talk about it someone on the outside. And so I am going to now, there's another poet in the diaspora. Diaspora poets also contribute a lot. They work very significant since 2017 during the period of genocide. One of the poet we know, Abdurrahim Paraj, he lives in Istanbul, Turkey, and also another poet, Sümeyye Hamdullah Aytürk, also lives in Turkey
Türkiye.
in Turkey. So yeah, in Turkey. So let me read their poems.
Yes, please.
Abdurrahim Paraj wrote, "When you mention your homeland, your body starts to tremble, even though my homeland now only lives in my dreams." Sumaya wrote, "Within the icy snow of dark winter stand Uyghurs' houses. Martyrs are lying without burial clothes. They look like scattered pomegranate seeds. The sky
Mhm.
hides itself inside the shooting stars." And there's the last one of my poem,
Yes,
uh,
please. Let's finalize with this.
"A blossoming salt." The morning filled is with blossom, but my soul is worrisome. Something is missing in this world. Is there anybody there for the Uyghurs? Even the corners of these streets are cold like a city of graveyards. I can't feel my Uyghurness anymore. My tongue shudders. It's difficult to differentiate the seasons, knowing only the falling of leaves and the growing of blossom. In nights of solitude I mourn. There is no dawn star I can greet. Humanity is the best deed like spring, like a king's favorite garments. Our faces will smile with inspiration to be a soulmate for whom hearts has frozen. And Uyghur version.
Right, please.
Çiçek tolgan hüsnüge seher, bırak kemine kanlı gaş. Kemdur biri bu dünyanın var mı Uygur derdiye dilkeş. Soğuktur musafırga her bir koçsi görker bu şehir. Bozuyalmaz Uygurlukum bulup tilim özgege öpkeş.
Now I move to the second, next one. Okay, this is another my poem. I will omit this one. So okay, finally I come to the conclusion. Uyghur poem.
Right.
So now I've been working on this book for many years. Finally, it was published by Everyman's Library in the UK, and also imprinted, distributed by the Penguin Random House. Its first time covers about 2,000 years of Uyghur poetic traditions. This is not only shared by the Uyghurs, also will be shared by the world, by the Turkic world. It includes great poems, oral epics during the until the 10th century, were only written or recorded by the Uyghur alphabet, Uyghur script, like Alıp Ertuğ'a Dastan, Alıp Ertuğ, Epic of Alıp Ertuğ'a, Oğuz Khan, and many Buddhism verses, and also by the great scholar Mahmud Kashkari. Also, so now this was completed. The book already published, widely distributing around the world, especially the English-speaking world, and I am now planning to publish this, translate and publish in Turkey. It will be published in Uyghur and the Turkish. I hope this work will be completed soon in the next 1 or 2 years time, and I really hope the people, Turkish people in Turkey, will able to read this poetry anthology in Turkish language.
Aziz İsa Bey, Aziz İfa Efendi Elkun, may Allah Almighty reward you and bless you for your efforts presenting the Uyghur poetry and literature, especially concentrated on resistance and defense against these cruel oppressor Chinese. Hopefully, very soon, these oppressions and invasions will come to the end. But before this, as we, a Turkic world and Muslim world, we have to be very aware of our duties and consciousness. Also, all human beings who have conscience in their heart. May Allah reward you. And as Uyghurs were subjected to this oppression and genocides in past, Bosnians, also Caucasians, also African oppressed innocent people. Now the people in Gaza, in Lebanon, are subjected to the genocides of these oppressors, cruel oppressors by these disbelievers. But at the end, we are believers. We believe in Allah Almighty and His justice, and we know that these oppressions will not go forever. Hopefully, these will end, and again, bright and sunny days will come to our Uyghur land, because we know that Uyghur people, Muslim Uyghur Turkic people, the pioneers of the civilization of the human beings. We know that the printing machines are found by Uyghurs, not Chinese.
Right.
Paper was invented by Uyghurs, not Chinese. We all know these, and we will tell these to everyone. Poetry and literature is one of the greatest rivals against these oppressors. And thank you that you are telling us also to all human beings, especially in the Western part, about this Uyghur poetry. This is a very important task and obligation, what you are achieving. Let me finish. When I was listening your poem, I was about to cry, but I also read one poem written from the camps of these concentration camps of these cruel Chinese. A young boy or girl wrote this in 2020, 29th of March. What she wrote. Joshua Freeman, you know him?
Yes, I know. I
Yeah,
know.
he translated. He's in Taiwan University. He's not as much as you for me, but he has the endeavors to realize this fact. He translated this into English. When you think of me, shed no tears of grief. You must not fade away for those who have gone. If now and then you find me in your dreams, you must not look with longing down the road. Some things in life remain beyond our reach. Hold no anger in your heart on my account. Ask no news of me from people that you meet. Your thoughts of me must not weigh on your soul. Just think of me as someone on a journey. If I am alive, one day I shall return. I won't give up on happiness so easily. There is much more that I still ask of life. Both my stars have now been left among you. Please cherish them for me while I am gone. With the kindness that raised me up from childhood, let them live within your sheltering embers. Dear Ustaz, dear İsa Bey, Aziz İsa Bey, we are very hopeful for our bright future because we are very honored to welcome you in our program today as Cihannuma Association in Turkey, and we will be very happy to welcome you in Turkey, in Istanbul, in your homeland.
Thank you so much.
This is your homeland. This is our capital city of innocent people all over the world, and we will achieve this. Ending my words, I will not take any questions. There is no need because you explained everything. Before ending my words, I want to give you a last sentence in this program, of course. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you for the event. You invited me to the Istanbul Forum. What I would like to say at the end is Uyghur poetry is very, very important to keep Uyghur cultural identity alive, and they came out came out strong from the ongoing genocide, because Uyghur poetry is a vital tool to keep the resistance and also to keep the Uyghur language alive among even among the diaspora. As you know, we have over 1 million population in Central Asia or in the West or in Turkey. It's very important. We must keep writing and express our resistance towards the oppressive regime.
Right.
And I would like to thank for all the support. There are many dedicated, conscious people in Turkey. We know this is very important. This is an obligation for the all Turkic nations, Turkic people, as well as whole world. If they stand for the humanity, they must stand for the rights, for the existence of the Uyghurs. And why poetry is very important, as you know, since year 2000. Chinese government officially banned the usage of Uyghur salt, we can say, but they cannot read and write in Uyghur language. This is a huge loss.
This is a cultural genocide.
Yeah, this is a tool. This very severe. Uyghurs must be sustained as a nation, and this is we are living in a civilized world, and so it's the obligation for everyone, every state. There's a genocide, there's atrocities taking place, especially the Republic of Turkey, Turkey Cumhuriyeti. They must do something. This is very urgent matter. We have been talking about already more than 8 years now. This is still there's no any improvement of the Uyghur situation. And if we keep continuing like it is, this great civilization, the great culture, whom shared by the all world, especially by the Turkic world, we are going to lose it. That's what all the time is. I'm worrying about it. I'm very upset about it.
I'm also upset, but Isa, Aziz Bey,
that's what I want to say at the end.
on the other hand, I am hopeful.
Okay, I have to stop now here. Thank you so much for organizing this event. This is my last message
Viewers.
to our brotherly people, Turkish people in Turkey and around the world, and also anyone who's seeing this presentation.
Right.
Support the Uyghurs, understand the seriousness of the situation in Uyghur homeland in East.
Thank you very much. May Allah reward you. Teşekkür ediyorum. İsa Bey, you know, Allah is El-Kahhar, and the summit of Istanbul Forum in Turkey. And ending my words, I want to recite Fatiha from the Quran. Let's recite all together for the souls of our genocided and martyred brothers in Uyghur, in East Turkestan, also in Gaza, in Palestine, and in Lebanon. For the sake of Allah Almighty, Al-Fatiha. Okay. Good evening from Turkey.
Okay, and good evening from London.
London.
And iyi akşamlar.
İyi akşamlar. Teşekkür
Selamlar.
ediyoruz.
Ben de
I also thank to our brother Ayaz and our brothers from Cihannuma who contributed for this publication.
okay. Thank